Alright, what is going on YouTube? It's your boy Twan and I'm back with another video. So in this video, I'm going to show you guys how to make beats like Southside. I know there's almost no tutorials teaching you how to make beats like Southside on YouTube, so I decided to make one. So without further ado, let's get straight to it. So first I opened up Analog Lab and I picked this preset from a HZE Analog Lab bank called Broken Synth, and I went and laid down these chords, very simple chords. And to that I added a couple of effects. I added this portal with this cubes preset. I added a reels with disturbances preset. I added a waves J37 tape stereo with the aquarium preset, turning down the mix down to 20%. And I added an effect rack with the ramp up echoes. So yeah, the portal is kind of makes that kind of modulation, granular textures, and it's a good plugin. The reels adds the emulation. The waves kind of just adds like a delay almost. And the effect rack is just another phaser with a bit of more delay and reverb, just for some textures. And here's what it sounds like now. Next up, I went into Omnisphere and I picked the Celeste Retro Plug Spin from Keyscape. I pretty much copied the same chords, but I just arpeggiated them instead, so it sounds like this. So then I added some effects. I added a primal tap, which kind of adds like a delay. Yeah, I used the retro guitar delay preset, turning down the mix to 20%. I added a Valhalla room. It won't open right now, but it's just the usual settings, turning the mix down a little bit. And then I added a reels with this good tape preset, a preset that I made. Yeah, again, just adding kind of like a retro vintage effect to it. And then an EQ cutting the lows and this frequency right here that was a little harsh. So then this is what it sounds like. So yeah, the same one chord repeated through. Next up, I opened up Arcade and I picked this Fractalizer bank and I played this note right here. So yeah, I like the sound, but I didn't like how it sounded raw, just like that. So I added a couple of effects. I wanted this to really sit in the background and kind of just act as like a texture. So I added a halftime, changed this percussion setting right here. I added a Valhalla room. It won't open again, but it's the same thing, just turning down the mix a little bit. I added this plugin called Backmask, which does this really cool textury reverse type of sound. And then I added an EQ to cut this frequency right here, another EQ to cut the lows, and then a Gerhertz low high just to act as like a low pass filter. And this is what it sounds like now. Next up, I opened up Arcade again because this time I wanted like a lead, a top line, like a flute type of top line. So I wanted this new classic drip bank, and I played this note right here. So yeah, I thought that was a good sound, so I added a couple of effects to it. I added an effect rack with this Chrome Hearts preset, another Valhalla room just to add a bit of reverb. But Valhalla room, if you can't tell, it's probably my favorite reverb right now. I added then an EQ, really cutting these frequencies, turning down these frequencies, these harsh frequencies. You have a lot of these frequencies when you have flute phrases and stuff, so I use this EQ to kind of tame them down. And then I finally added another EQ cutting the lows, and it sounds like this now. That's pretty much all the major sounds. The last thing I added was this Kontakt sound from Cycles, and it's just this sound right here. It sounds like this. Let me find it right here. Literally just an accent, and I added a couple of effects to it. I added this H949 harmonizer with the vocal flange preset. I added a reverb intensity with this vintage preset right here, and then an EQ cutting the lows out, and it sounds like this now. So yeah, it doesn't make much of a difference. But then I rendered everything out as an audio file, and I went ahead and added this like only one percussion loop, which sounds like this. So that's how it sounds when it's pitched down one whole octave and turned the volume down quite a lot. And I just added this fab filter just to have like a bandpass narrow to cut some of the highs and the lows. And I also added this outer space with the lo-fi preset, turning down the mix to about 35%. You know, just to kind of add that kind of vintage like feel to the percussion loop, as it's going to be a texture that's going to sit in the background. And it sounds like this now with the effects. Basically, then finally I added this texture ambience here. I pitched it down like 600 cents just because I wanted it to sound a little lower, and I lowered the volume as well, and I routed it to the same mixer track as the percussion loop, so it sounds like this. So yeah, you can almost barely hear it, but it's just kind of, you know, something more you can feel in the final sample. So that's pretty much the whole sample. I then routed it to mixer track 8, and I added the final effects. I added just a compressor, the quick child compressor from Waves, you know, doing a bit of like negative compression just to, you know, glue it all together. And then finally an EQ to cut the frequencies, to cut the low frequencies. And then I rendered it again, pitched it up one semitone, and then I added this good hertz wow control just to kind of, you know, add a bit of detune and a bit of coloring and saturation. And then an EQ again just to cut the lows. And this is how the final sample sounds like. And then finally, I added some menacing drums to it, and here's what it sounds like. Young Twan. Young Twan. So if you want to hear the drums alone, this is what they sound like. This is the first pattern with the percussion. It sounds like this. If you want to see the hi-hats, they look like this. For the mixing, I literally didn't do anything. I just leveled all my sounds, added a soft clipper on the master, and that's really it. If you want to look at the 808 pattern, this is what it sounds like. I mean, what it looks like. So that's all for this video today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you could take one or two things from it. If you did enjoy it, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you would want to see in the next videos, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.